This was their 40th anniversary. Can you believe that the VMAs have been around for 40 years? So I think that's the only reason they still get these big celebs to show up, because there's no TRL, there's no music videos playing on the channel. So it's kind of amazing that people do show up for it these days. Like, usually they still have that power.
I never understood, is the award for their video or the song? It's the Video Music Awards, but are you giving me an award for the song or for the music video?
I think the music video.
Who the watches this stuff? Where are you seeing this?
On YouTube.
Oh my God. We should be more specific then. The digital music, video.
Yeah. And by the way, Taylor Swift is now the most decorated video music award winner of all time. She just passed Beyonce in the show. Welcome to the Hollywood Raw podcast. Today we are doing the Raw Rundown, which means we are getting to the top 10 entertainment stories of the week, get you caught up, get you in the know. I'm Dax Holt. Over there's Adam Glyn. Adam, how's your voice? Let me hear you for a second.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. No, it's not doing well, but it's better than it's been. I'm working on very, very little sleep. It's been chaos. It's been one of the busiest times I've ever seen in Manhattan for like what I do. I mean, between Fashion Week, the VMAs, just a lot of stuff going on. It's been insane. Last night I was out till probably about 4:30 in the morning. Had to edit till about 5:15 in the morning, and then I had to get up at 7. And here we are doing the podcast right now. So it's I'm working on very minimal sleep and I was supposed to. You're gonna hate me.
Why?
I could have got those Mormon girls.
I
know, but I just
Mormon girls.
I have no energy, Dax. I can't do it. I don't have the stomach to do it.
Adam, it is like the most popular television show on right now.
I get it. I don't have the stomach. Last night I was with Alex Earl. I was with Post Malone. I was with Teddy Swims. I was with French Montana. I mean, it's been crazy.
We're going to get to that in another episode. Let's record another episode for next week, talking about your whole week with Fashion Week, with VMAs, with the interviews that you have done with Seacrest and Oprah, and I mean, just you, Vanna White. I mean, you've talked to everyone this week, so let's put a pin in those stories, and I'm gonna debrief you on next week's episode. How about that? Sounds
good.
Cool.
Sounds good. I'm down. Let's before we get to the Raw Rundown, we read reviews. It's best to do to support this podcast. Sorry, I'm like crazy energy. I'll tell you what. Before we get to the Raw Rundown, when we were going through the stories, there's like 6 solid stories of the week that were actually competitive with each other. The rest of them, I had to call one of my editor friends and be like, dude, is there any big stories this week that I'm missing? Because sometimes I'll ask them to review the stories based on because how we find the Raw Rundown stories goes on Google search, data, research, and lastly on our personal opinions. But I showed him our list, and he was like, yeah, you're pretty accurate with everything, because everything was just so political this week. Everything was about debate, and we don't get into politics. So it's like, what am I going to do? So it was, that's what people are clicking on, was politics stuff this week. But the first half of the stories I think are great. Second half was like, they didn't get the numbers, but it was a weird week in entertainment news. It ended decently strong. All right, let's read a review, Dax. Let's read a review.
All right, let's get to the review. This one is from LMSMK25, 5 stars. The title is Always Fun to Listen. And it says, my husband and I were in the music biz in Seattle in the late 90s and 2000s, so we got to experience a lot of interesting things together. I love listening to you guys. Fill us in on what's happening. I don't love Hollywood gossips, but you guys make it fun and on point. Dope. Great review. Thank you for taking the time.
Very nice.
If we can make you and your husband happy and reminisce about the days of Hollywood, that's what we're here for. So I'm glad you guys are listening. Appreciate it.
We got to hang out with that person. They seem like a nice person. That's our type of person. Someone who was like around in the 90s, like that. Yeah, I'm living. Look at me. I'm wearing a California Raisins t-shirt right now. I look hungover, but I'm not. but I sort of am feeling like it. But yeah, thank you for that. All right, Dax, let's get to the Raw review, starting with number 10.
Did you say the Raw review?
Yeah. The Raw review, the Raw rundown, whatever we call it. Yeah. I
can tell that this is your 2 hours of sleep that's coming up right now, and I like it. I love Tired Adam.
You know what the truth is? I was trying to hold in a cough. I was trying to hit like our mute button real quick as it was coming because it was coming out. So it's like I was trying to hold it, dude. It's so I hate myself. I'm in pain, Dax. I'm in pain.
Oh God. Well, I'm glad you're here. Thank you for pushing through the pain to hang out with us.
You know what's so funny? I was on TikTok yesterday and I saw this girl getting baptized, and I was like, that seems refreshing. Like it wasn't like for the religious part of it. I was like, oh, that looks like it feels good. Like just dunk in some water real quick. That's how like gross I feel right now.
Oh God.
All right, Dax, let's get the Raw rundown starting with number 10.
All right, Halsey is engaged. She announced this on Instagram to Avon, Georgia, I think is how you say his name. They are officially together. Well, they've been together, but they are officially engaged. She posted up a little statement on Instagram, and and they're together. I mean, I don't really have much more than that. I mean, we don't know much more of them than that at this point. But they first, started dating back in like September 2023. There's been, I guess, speculation for months, and it's now official. They're engaged. So not like a massive story, but nevertheless, something that still needed to make the rundown.
Halsey is one of those people. First of all, she just came out with a new album. It's very good. I will say I try to listen to new music. It's easy. I have Spotify, so it's easy for me. Like a new release Friday, I could kind of like go through their songs really quick. Also about Halsey, very nice. Also about Halsey, she always looks different to me. Not in a weird way. She just looks very like she could walk around the streets and you would not even realize it's Halsey.
Yeah.
Like she kind of blends in. But also what I would say with that is she's very, very pretty. Like I don't know, something pretty about her. She's very pretty, and it's weird. I should say it's weird. She's had like short hair, she's had longer hair, but I don't know. She is the best word to describe her when you meet her is like she's very charming, and there's something about her. So lucky guy.
Did you see her at the VMAs? She wore the same dress that Elizabeth Hurley wore 28 years ago. It was kind of a good little like homage to Elizabeth Hurley. I thought that was kind of fun.
Yeah, it's interesting. Everyone's cool.
Cool.
We'll get into the VMAs. Interesting choice of the Elizabeth Hurley dress. Interesting choice, but that's not going to be one of the most memorable things for me of the VMAs. But we'll get into the VMAs later.
All right, one quick addition we have to add to the rundown is the fact that Cardi B just gave birth to her third child. This news just broke. And this announcement was made, the pregnancy announcement was made last month, right amid the whole divorce proceedings with her longtime partner Offset. The news was confirmed that she did in fact have her baby, and she posted some photos on Instagram holding the baby, super cute, breastfeeding and other photos. But this is a big deal. She said that in the post, she called the little girl the prettiest little thing. And she writes that she was born on 9/7/24, which means the baby was born on Saturday. So it's a little messy with her and Offset. However, it seems like they're co-parenting very well. We do know that this is Offset's child because there were some rumors at the beginning, like, is it not his? Is that why there's a breakup? That is not the case. It seems like that there wasn't any cheating involved after it was just, they drifted apart, and we've seen them out a couple times since then at, I want to say Wave's birthday, third birthday party earlier in the month. And they were both having a good time, and it seems very amicable between the two of them. And so, especially when you can compare it to other big celebrity splits. So I know that she had asked for, in the divorce, some child support to help with anything that happens to do with the baby. But other than that, So congratulations to Cardi and Offset on the birth of their new little baby girl.
Dax number 9.
Number 9, I actually was going to talk Hugh Grant, but over the last couple minutes, a different story has just eclipsed it, and it's one of our stories. It's Vicki Gunvalson. Oh my God, I said her name wrong again. Vicki Gunvalson. Why do I fuck up her name so much, Adam? I can't ever say it. Her story is now trending, and it's basically her interview with us talking about her and Tamara's relationship. It is getting picked up and people are liking it. But basically that Vicki came on our podcast this week, was an open book talking all about her health issues, her big health scare with sepsis, what went down, how it went down, how she is still dealing with this sepsis issue. But then we got into her relationship with Tamara, and that is what everyone is talking about right now. Basically, Tamara, she admitted that Tamara was the only person that did not reach out to her after getting sepsis and nearly dying. She said, but I'm not really surprised. We're not on the best of terms. She went on to explain exactly why they're not friends these days, because there was some questions of like, what exactly happened between these two? And it all surrounds Shannon Beater and that DUI that she got, and how Tamara just became very mean and would apparently go after her and judge her, and she's Vicki basically just calls her a mean girl over and over again. We asked her if she missed her friendship with Tamara, and she said no. I'm a happy person. I'm in a happy place in my life, and whether they'd be friends again doesn't seem that way. And then the big question that is getting picked up a lot is when we asked her about Tamara's crying video, because Tamara released a video on IG the last couple days, where she's going after Vicki, saying like, "Why are you being so mean? Why are you going as low as calling out my relationship with my estranged child?" And she's like, "That's too low. If you want my place on Real Housewives, just take it. Like, this has to end." And Tamara said, "Look, there was no tears. She's a good actress, and she basically just wants attention." Is what she chalked up the entire thing. She just wants attention.
Yeah,
I welcome. I actually know Tamara pretty well, and so I'm going to reach out to her and see if she would like to come on the podcast, because
did we
gave one side, now we can. What is it?
We had her on the podcast before, right?
Did we have her? I couldn't remember. I know that we've had.
I think we did.
I don't think we have.
Are you
I really
sure?
don't think we. Yeah.
Wait, or was she?
We've had Teddy on.
Oh, we definitely had Teddy, but Tamara, do we have like a meeting with her on the side?
I'm trying to remember.
I thought maybe we had a meeting with her we were a part of. I don't know.
I can't remember, but
I know.
I'll hit her up
but she was
today,
a great interview.
Especially since it's getting picked up now and making a lot of headlines. I think I'll reach out to her and see if she wants to come on and say something, just so we have both sides, because I almost feel weird when a story like this pops off and then I'm not asking her, even though like we have a relationship. I feel like I should reach out and just say, "Hey, do you want to come on?" Since we had your other person on.
No, it makes sense. When you said, "Hey, do you want Vicki?" At first I was like, a housewife. I'm not a housewife guy. There's a few of them who I like, or I shouldn't say like, I've dealt with, I'm familiar with. And I really wasn't familiar with her, even though I know she is an OG. But Vicki was so cool, so like well-spoken. Sometimes we get people on the podcast where they have this great description, you know who they are, but they're not well-spoken. But Vicki was very well-spoken, which for a podcast and for an interview, it makes it a lot easier for us, where it makes it a lot easier for an editor, how do I make this work? But she was very cool. So shout out to Vicki. And we're going to reach out to the other side and see if they want to comment, because I don't want to we are journalists. The fair thing to do is try both sides and and see if there's a resolution here. Dax number 8.
Number 8, Colin Farrell, saying that he might not come back for a season 2 of The Penguin, saying that it was not exactly the most enjoyable experience filming this show, but he spoke about becoming this iconic supervillain recently, which is this HBO show that's coming out on Max on September 19th. And, he's like, this was a big deal for me. Like, I watched Batman growing up. I saw, he was like, Danny DeVito was my Batman, really, in Batman Returns. And so being a part of this lineage of that storytelling, he felt very privileged.
Danny DeVito was my Penguin. Danny DeVito was my Penguin.
Yeah. What did I say?
You said Danny DeVito was my Batman.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I was confused. It took me like 7 seconds thinking. I was like, Danny DeVito? Yeah, Danny DeVito was my Penguin.
Sorry, Danny DeVito was my Penguin from Batman Returns.
Yes.
And he was just saying that, like, so being a part of this was a really big deal for him. And he was excited about it, but he goes, like, I just became so cranky, and I was not nice to be around. And he goes, by the end of it, I was like, I don't want to put on that fucking suit or that fucking head again, because it was awful. And there was a lot of makeup. I think there was a lot of prosthetics, all this stuff that he was putting on. Because when you look at him as the Penguin, he's unrecognizable, right? He's got this giant scar across his face. He's in a really big fat suit. And I think he just did not enjoy the time that it takes to become the Penguin. And so as of right now, I think if you asked him, he would not do a season 2. But I think if it does really well and they dangle a big paycheck, it might be worth going into that fat suit again.
Yeah, I mean, take the work when it's there, especially for the money you probably got for it. I want to see this. I'm excited for this. This is going to be a fun project. They're not promoting it as much as I thought, which I thought was unique. You would think they would try to blow it up and throw it in your face. So that makes you question a little bit, at least for me, how good the product is. But I'm excited to see it. It seems really good. A great actor playing the Penguin, who's an iconic villain. Really good. But I can understand how uncomfortable playing the Penguin could be, walking around with all that weight, sitting there through the makeup where you can't move and you have to be there hours earlier just to film. Like, it's an uncomfortable thing to probably do that role. I mean, look what happened with, I'd say the Joker when Heath Ledger played the Joker. He had to get mentally to a very dark area to kind of really get that role.
Become that role. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I've heard this before with people. Like, when you play a dark character, it takes you to a dark place, right? And because you are mentally becoming that character for 6-7 months or whatever, and it messes with your brain. So I've heard this before.
Yeah, but the other thing to think about is, hey, do you want $7 million to do it? Is that going to be worth your time? And man, $7 million, I would
jump in that fat suit so fast.
Yeah, I would jump in that fat suit. I would just be a nude penguin. I don't know what I would do. It would be, you could paint me in feathers and I'll sit there all day and you paint feathers on me and make me the Penguin. I don't care. Man, that's a lot of money, but I'm excited for this. Are you excited for this show?
Yeah, I would check it out. I don't have HBO Max, but I would check it out.
Dax, I would love to give you my password, but I'm a good American. I don't share that stuff. I am, I'm a Time Warner guy.
You're righteous. You're a good person. And if you said it on our podcast, you would also get a giant fine. So keep that to yourself.
I don't, and plus I don't want to piss off the person whose password's given to me. So, Dax, what number are we at? 6?
We are 7? On number 7.
7. Sorry. Number 7.
Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner, their divorce has now officially been finalized. And this has come after a very nasty public breakup, a custody battle that followed, a lot of just ups and downs between these two names. And it has now officially been signed off by a judge. And so this is a big deal. So it's a Florida judge declared the exes legally single, ruling that the marriage is irretrievably broken. So I know a bunch of the outlets got documents on September 10th and reported the details of the divorce. But they said a lot of the settlement is 100% confidential. It basically suggests that they are in the best interest of the parties and this family. And so they don't want a lot of the details out there for the public to read. But I'm just glad they're at a good place at this point, because you remember how nasty it got so quickly. Like, I've never seen it went from one day they were together, next day they were apart, to filing to divorce, to being accused of like kidnapping the children. I mean, it just was nasty.
It was like within 9 hours. It's like, what is going on here? Like, this is not good. But yeah, I'm glad they kind of got a resolution. I can't imagine these two are still going to be friendly. They'll be friendly for the kids, but there's no.
I was gonna say they got to be friendly for the kids, get along for the children.
Yeah, but this was a bad divorce. Everything. I wonder if Joe had to give more just to be like, hey, this needs to stay private, because she's like, no, I want it public. I want to show that you're being a dick. Or if she's like, you know what, it's best for us.
I mean, I think both of them were being dicks, honestly. So
yeah,
I think it was in their best interest for both of them to shut up and be quiet for the kids, like deal with it privately, because your kids are going to one day grow up and read all the crap you said about them, or not about them, I'm sorry, about the other person. And that's got to be hard to read as a child.
When you have the word kidnap within like a divorce, that's a big word.
It's a strong word.
That's a strong word. I mean, it's a big word. It's got like 8 letters. So it's so stupid. What a fucking dumb joke I just said.
You're such an idiot.
I'm such an idiot. I'm so stupid today. This is like,
I like Delirious Adam. Delirious Adam is my favorite Adam. I'm telling you, I like this.
I feel like I'm really drunk and I just woke up in like a McDonald's somewhere, like some random McDonald's, and I'm like still trying to figure out what happened last night. You know what I mean? What number are we on?
We are on number 6. You have one job. Your one job is to say the number.
No, hold on. So I know. Yeah, I have one job. I can't even do that job well.
One job today,
just to you're carrying the weight today,
keep
dude.
Track of
we're on number
numbers
6
as we go through. Number 6.
6.
Thank you, Adam. Number 6. Justin Timberlake reaches a deal to resolve the DWI case in the Hamptons. This, according to sources. So apparently, he has reached a deal to resolve this whole intoxicated while driving case in the Hamptons. He's expected to appear in a Sag Harbor Village court on Friday, which is today, to plead guilty to a fine, resolving the misdemeanor charges, the sources had said. If you remember, he was leaving an American hotel in June when he was stopped for, was it called American Hotel? I don't know.
Something like, yeah.
I was like, I don't know if they're just calling it an American Hotel or it's actually called the American Hotel. But when he stopped for running a stop sign, swerving into oncoming lanes, and then the officer smells booze on his breath. And then it all went downhill very quickly for him. A very embarrassing situation for him, especially because he was going out on tour, and he is out on that tour and he's had to acknowledge it. I remember him saying, one of the first shows after this arrest, he said, it's been a tough week, but you're here, I'm here. And so he's got his next stop later this month in New Jersey for this tour. But he is very much trying to rectify his reputation. It's one thing with him. It's like he just does dumb crap over and over again every couple of years. You know what I'm saying? Between the like cheating on his wife, the Britney Spears stuff, DWI. I mean, he just is kind of a mess sometimes.
The thing with so he's not. Is he being charged with a DUI?
Yeah,
is that still what he's getting?
Yeah, so he's just trying to settle the case now.
He's not
go away. He basically lost his driving privileges, but because it was out of state, he only lost the privileges in New York.
So he can't drive for 6 months in New York?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Okay, that's I was curious.
Pay a bunch of money and all of that.
Yeah, I was curious if they were gonna if they weren't gonna take away his license.
He pled not guilty to 2 charges stemming from the arrest of driving while intoxicated. And so they had the arraignment on August 2nd, where he appeared virtually, and after a paperwork error when he was initially charged. So anyway, he's going to still be dealing with this, but it looks like maybe they are going to put this to rest so he can move on with his life here.
Oh, well, very good. Well, I don't want to say congratulations, but another huge thing that we could kind of put aside. I guess he realized, I'm not going to get out of this, so I might as well just kind of end it soon and quick.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. Number 5.
Number 5, Nikki Bella officially files for divorce from Artem after his domestic abuse arrest. We were talking about this on the rundown last week. We had said that all signs were pointing towards a divorce, but it wasn't official. Now it is official. She has filed for divorce, and we kind of all saw it coming after this arrest. Everything was basically... there was definitely some problems in this marriage, and now she submitted a petition for dissolution of marriage. They do have a minor child, and this all went down in the Superior Court of Napa in California. If you remember, like I said before, he was arrested on August 29th for domestic violence, 3 days after the estranged couple celebrated their wedding anniversary. And we obviously don't have any details of what happened that night because they wanted to keep it totally confidential. They didn't even want her name attached to this arrest at all. But she did file the divorce under her full name, which is Stephanie Nicole Garcia Colas. And then she's got the 4-year-old son, Mateo, with him. So not a big shocker, I think, at all. With all the
details. I think it just says everything that at first we were like, what happened? Who was involved? But then your domestic abuse, who else it could be in? And now I think it kind of like, all right, it definitely had some sort of something went down and she was involved. And it was that serious that, I mean, I'm sure that I have to assume that there's prior issues, but she officially filed for divorce. How quick does that divorce go through? I'm surprised Paps haven't really been shooting him or like been really working this story as much. I know they worked in the beginning to see if there's any marks on her because she had to go to Labor Day weekend. She had to go to Vegas for that hot dog eating competition. So they're working her to see if there's any bruises on her face or, by any means. So, but yeah, I'm surprised he hasn't been seen at all. So,
well, he's up in Napa. I mean, if you don't want to be seen in Napa, all you got to do is just stay in your house. You know what I'm saying? Like there's so much land and space and stuff up there that I think it'd be very easy to hide. It's like living in Montecito. Like you don't have to be seen if you're in Montecito. That's why Oprah has a house there. That's why Prince Harry has a house there. Ellen, because you can hide away very easily.
Yeah, but we'll see how public this divorce gets. Will it end like the Sophie Turner and Joe Jonas, where it's everything that's happened internally, where we're not like we don't know how it ended or what each side got? Will this one be public? Will this one get dirty? Because obviously there's abuse before that. So I'm curious how this thing goes through at the end. Sad. At the end of the day, it's sad. You want people to be happy, and maybe they're happier not together. So I don't know if it is sad. Maybe it's a weird thing. I don't know. But Nikki Bella's back on the market. So we'll see how quick she bounces back with a new guy.
Yeah. All right. There we go.
You're not a Bella. See, I'm a Nikki Garcia. Sorry, I call her Nikki Bella. Nikki Garcia. I have to get used to saying that name. But actually, I didn't know her. I guess her real name is Stephanie Nicole. I guess.
So you're not a true fan.
I guess you're right. I thought I was. Now I question myself. But next time I see her, I'm going to try to get her attention. I'm like, Stephanie, and then try to talk to her. So
what happened? They were supposed to come on our podcast like 2 years ago, and then
dude, I have Bree's number, her sister's number, and she's maybe it's me. It's got to be me because I was gonna say she's a terrible texter, but maybe it's just me because I'll text her and then she doesn't respond till like 36 hours later. I'm like, oh, like you didn't look at your phone all day, so you saw me there, but now I just know where I stand with you. And next time I see you at a Super Bowl party that you can't get in, I'm not gonna help. Ooh, dig. All right, Dax, number 4.
Number 4, Sean Diddy Combs in a lot more legal trouble. A couple things popped up this week. Number 1, he lost $100 million default judgment to a Michigan inmate in a sexual assault lawsuit. So basically, this Michigan inmate claimed that Diddy drugged him and sexually assaulted him at a party nearly 30 years ago. And he won $100 million default judgment just because Diddy didn't show up. So that's why he was granted this multi-million-dollar judgment. I don't see it sticking for a long time. I don't think Diddy's actually going to have to pay out $100 million to this guy. And I can tell you, Combs's attorney was not happy about it. His statement was basically, "This is a man, a convicted felon, a sexual predator who has been sentenced to 14 counts of sexual assault and kidnapping over the last 26 years. His resume now includes committing a fraud on the court from a prison, as Mr. Combs has never heard of him, let alone been served with any lawsuit. Mr. Combs looks forward to having this judgment swiftly dismissed." And so this guy had basically said that years ago, him and Diddy ended up taking some girls back to a hotel room. And then while this guy was having sex, Diddy allegedly put his hands on his butt or something like that. And then he claims that Diddy drugged him, or he was drugged and woke up bloody and abused. So that was his side of the story. Diddy is sticking with his innocence here, but it is not the only Diddy suit that happened this week. He has now been sued by one of the ex-Making the Band members who claims he sexually abused her, and she witnessed a whole bunch of violence against some of his girlfriends, including Cassie. So he was slapped with another lawsuit. I don't even know how many lawsuits we're up to at this point, but basically saying that... by the way, her name is Dawn Richard. That name actually sounds very familiar to me from Making the Band days. But she said that there was an incident at his home where he demanded her to come to his Miami home, where he greeted her only wearing his underwear, and that he also allegedly broke into her dressing room and started groping her breasts and her butt. But she says that she recounts these, and it was a pretty terrible time in her life, and that she once claims that he locked her in her car, and she had to call her dad to come get her out of her car because he wouldn't let her go. She claims that she saw abuse towards Cassie and Kim Porter back in the day, and so there is a lot of allegations in here, and so it's just like another day in the Diddy saga.
Yeah, he's not hiding though at all. I saw photos of him recently. Like the guy is just out. It looks like he's enjoying himself. I just don't know how. If I was his crisis manager, publicist crisis manager, which one team already quit on him. I don't know how you bounce back from this. I don't know how you get through this because it's just bad. Unless he's like, screw it, I'm all in right now. Like this is It is what it is. I'll wait till everything just kind of the dust settles a little bit, but it's not good for
let me
Diddy.
tell you a couple more details from her court documents. So obviously we all saw the Cassie video where he was dragging through the hallway of the hotel, which he's publicly apologized for. This woman has claimed that she was actually there when Diddy first met Cassie back in 2006, and that she described his behavior as predatory. But she claims that she saw Combs high on drugs, slam Cassie against a wall, choked her, dragged her up a flight of stairs in his LA home. She also claims that he once hurled a scalding pan of eggs at Ventura, screaming, "I've been asking you for my shit. I can't stand you, bitch. You never do it right." And that he allegedly struck her in the face and attempted to strangle her. This is literally all the details from the lawsuit. And that I guess when Cassie decided that she was going to leave, Richards was there at the same time, and Combs allegedly came out and said, "Y'all bitches don't get in my relationship. Don't tell my bitch what she need to be doing." And yeah, he basically threatened her career and said, "Just make money and shut the fuck up. I end artists. I shelve careers. You could be missing. You bitches want to die today." So again, all of these are details from the lawsuit.
Man, from what I've heard is that there's more still on Diddy. I heard there's videos. I heard there's a lot more going on there. So I don't know. I wonder what hip hop guys, or just in general, not just hip hop, who has Diddy celebrity wise have hung out with Diddy. Maybe they just go to his house but not seen in public. Because you cannot be, it's just bad stuff, man.
Bad.
You know what's crazy? Right. Last night I was at the VMA after party, and I don't think younger kids will realize how big Diddy was at one point. Like they know him as like a celebrity, but they don't realize how big he was. The parties he threw. I mean, it was He was the man. He was the man. So
yeah,
he's just
for a
old
very
now.
long time too.
Now he's just an old, sort of pervert. Alleged pervert. Alleged pervert. Dax number 3.
Number 3, VMAs happened this week, and a lot going on. It's funny. It's like every year, the VMAs either gets a ton of praise or just shit on. And I feel like this year it got a lot of praise, probably because Taylor Swift was all over the VMAs, and people are obsessed with Taylor Swift right now. But they had a bunch of people show up. Megan Thee Stallion was hosting it. They had performances by Sabrina Carpenter, Chappelle Roan, Camila Cabello, Halsey, LL Cool J, Lenny Kravitz, Shawn Mendes, Eminem. They had all kinds of stuff. Katy Perry received the Video Vanguard Award. She performed a bunch of her songs. But people were very excited, I feel like, about this year. Taylor Swift ended up winning the 2024 MTV VMA for Best Video of the Year, where she gave a shout out to her boyfriend Travis. Just basically said when she was filming Fortnite, because she won it for Fortnite, she said that, with Post Malone, by the way, he was up there as well. She just said that when they were filming the video, Travis was like the ultimate hype man in the background. Every time they would say cut, he would be like cheering her on and clapping and just like, woo! And she basically said sometimes, she said, what was her exact quote? Everything this man touches turns to happiness and fun and magic. So I want to thank him for adding that to our shoot, because I'll always remember that, which I thought was kind of cute.
Very nice. Very nice. Any other memorable things that happened at this VMA? Did you watch it by chance?
Anita, she won for the VMA for Best Latin Video. She was all excited. Love me some Anita. Chappelle Roan was named the Best New Artist. Who else? Camila Cabello put on a pretty good performance. Lenny, he was there for his first performance in 26 years at the VMAs. The dude doesn't age a goddamn day. It is unfreaking believable. He looks the same as he did 20, 40 years ago. I mean, like literally the same. Halsey rocked out the stage. It was just, I think it was like a fun night. Sabrina Carpenter, she was named Song of the Year for Espresso, which it is on the radio so damn much. Like, I feel like every radio station I turn to, I'm like, oh, Espresso's on. Oh, Espresso's on. So not surprised that one won. Like, even my kids were like, why is this song on the radio all the time? Anyway.
I watched it. I went to a party afterwards. I didn't go to the award show. When I say I went to a party, I was outside the party. Someone had so I didn't go inside the party. I was outside the party. But that, to me, honestly, I feel more comfortable there, because in the party I just kind of get weird and sit in a corner. Yeah. But I watched it.
So I think those are the big moments. I did see Chappelle Roan screaming at paparazzi outside, telling them to shut the fuck up. That was interesting.
Yeah. She's not. I'm not a fan. She just doesn't seem very nice. Between the comments she made about fans recently, she just doesn't seem like a warm person or genuine at all. Unless she's just so uncomfortable. But it's weird. Some articles called it paparazzi, some articles called them photogs. But yeah,
I think this will end up biting her in the butt. Like, she's become so famous so quickly, but like if you're putting off this like negative vibe, or you're yelling at camera people, you're talking kind of crappy on fans wanting photos with you, like this kind of stuff. This reminds me of Iggy Azalea. Do you remember how her career was like rocket launching? She was the biggest thing, and then people saw kind of that side of her, and it really turned a lot of people off. The negative side. Like, when you look at some of these other big stars like Adele, or they're just kind of bubbly, fun personalities, and I think that attracts a lot of people, and it helps build your career. But if you come across as kind of like rude or nasty or mean, people will see that, and then they'll just kind of be over you. So I highly suggest she switches that around pretty quickly.
Yeah, you have one chance at first impression. People want to... Like Halsey's a charming person, and maybe that's just who she is. She's just not a warm person, but this is show business. It's part of the game. people don't want to be around people that are hard to work with or work for, or especially not grateful, because the chances of making it are so slim. And someone who makes it is not like having fun or like enjoying themselves with it, or just not warm about it. It rubs people the wrong way. As far as the photographers at the VMAs, I mean, Dax, you've been to red carpets before. Celebrity goes on the red
I've been to
carpet.
the VMAs before too. I've been
Well,
inside the VMAs. Yeah.
yeah. Well, any red carpet, they have a gaggle of photographers all put together, and they all start screaming your name. They'll go Dax, 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 Dax. They're all trying to call your name to get your attention, so you look at them, and it's just how it is. You know, you just kind of go where the sound is, and so you get that eye. You know, you want that eyesight into your camera. It's very common. Now, what happened before that, I really don't know exactly what happened. I think we just kind of heard or saw like the headlines. Overall, the VMAs to me were, I would say, about a 4. It was just nothing exciting, nothing insane. Maybe it's me just getting older, but there's nothing like rock star about it. I kind of liked when they used to do it at Radio City more. I don't like when they do it in an arena where all the celebrities sit on the side of the stage and then you have the fans on the ground. Because actually what they do is they sell tickets. You know, that's how they have to make money now to afford those venues. They have to sell tickets to the Video Music Awards. But with that, it was very international. There's a lot of artists who I just wasn't familiar with. I mean, that could be good for some things, but for me, like, besides Carol G, I mean, it was just, I feel like it just became one big award show. When you're giving awards for K-pop groups, especially MTV, that doesn't do anything. MTV has nothing to do with music anymore. So one day a year, they still honor music, which is just weird.
It's just because the name is there. VMAs, it's prestigious just because of the years that they did. I mean, this was their 40th anniversary. Can you believe that the VMAs have been around for 40 years? So I think that's the only reason they still get these big celebs to show up, because there's no TRL, there's no music videos playing on the channel. So it's kind of amazing that people do show up for it these days. Like, they still have that power.
I never understood, is the award for their video or the song? It's the Video Music Awards, but you're giving me an award for the song or for the music video?
I think the music video.
Who the fuck watches this stuff? Where are you seeing this? On
YouTube.
Oh my God. We should be more specific then. The digital music, video.
Yeah. And by the way, Taylor Swift is now the most decorated video music award winner of all time. She just passed Beyonce in the show.
You know, there used to be a show on MTV 20 years ago called Made, or it was like there was like a Wish, some other show, and one of the thing was the guy he got to take Taylor Swift to his prom. Yeah, that was his thing. He took and Taylor Swift was very early in her career, and she went to the prom with this guy. I don't know what show it was. Was it Made or some other show? I wonder where that guy is now, if he still has a relationship with Taylor and he's able to say, oh yeah, I went to the prom with Taylor Swift. He's one of, that's awesome. A pretty cool thing to say. I mean, yeah, he did it before she was huge, but something pretty cool to say. All right, Dax, what number are we on?
We are on number 2.
Number 2, Dax.
Some huge shocking news this week with Dave Grohl admitting that he has a love child. Did not see, this was not on my celebrity bingo card. Dave Grohl always comes across as like one of the greatest guys in Hollywood, and has always talked so highly of his wife and their relationship and the love that the two of them had. I mean, he's done a couple interviews where he's just showering her with praise and saying that she is the love of his life. And then this, he admitted that he welcomed a baby girl outside of his marriage to his wife, Jordan. And
congratulations. Oh no.
Yeah.
If you saw him on the street, would you say congratulations, or do you not say congratulations?
I would feel awkward. What are you supposed to say? But what was interesting is that People magazine reported that he actually retained a divorce lawyer before the baby announcement, which kind of goes against the announcement. Let me read you the announcement. It says, I've recently become a father of a new baby daughter born outside of my marriage. I plan to be a loving and supportive parent to her. I love my wife and my children, and I am doing everything I can to regain their trust and earn their forgiveness. We're grateful for your consideration toward all the children involved as we move forward together. So, I mean, he says, I love my wife and my children, and I'm doing everything I can to regain their trust. But does that mean that he knew that this story was breaking, got a divorce lawyer, preparing for her to divorce him? I don't know. But wow, what a wild, wild story on this one.
Yeah, you just weren't expecting that. That's just like, whoa. And the point that he actually became.
He comes across as such a good guy that I'm like, what? No,
you know what?
No.
Why did he have to go public with it?
Oh, because there was a story about to break. For sure. This is not because he wanted to go public. No chance. This is stuff that you deal with privately, but I am 110% sure some outlet hit them up and said, we have a story that you are the father of a child outside of your marriage. We are about to break it. Do you have a comment? And he said, nope, I'm going to break this myself, and posted about it for sure. There's no way that this was done in any other way.
Man, I wonder who's the outlet that got beat on the story by Dave Grohl.
I don't know, but I can tell you they're probably super annoyed because they probably had this huge exclusive that they've been working on, and they've been doing all the research, and by him putting up that statement, it completely shuts down their whole story.
Yeah, there goes my hero.
Well played. Well played.
Yeah, well, listen, I'm sure he's gonna do the right thing and take care of the baby, take care of the mother. So it's a personal thing. How he handles it, that's up to him. Was it?
Yeah.
But you know what? We also don't know if they could have been in an open relationship. There's a lot of open relationships in Hollywood.
By the way of, I'm trying to regain their trust. That's not an open relationship, bro.
Well, again, we didn't know. Maybe they don't want the public to know that was an open relationship.
So then he wouldn't even acknowledge it. He'd be like, I've had a baby outside of my marriage. Like, my wife's fine with it. We do this thing. We're into swingers. This kind of thing. Yeah. It would be a very different statement if she was in on it, I think.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm sure this woman that he got pregnant wasn't the only one, or wasn't the first one.
I don't know. Let's move on.
And also, you're older. Get the scissors. Get the
snip. Something about this, Dave.
Snip, snip, snip. All right, Dax, the number one story of the week.
Number one story of the week. Taylor Swift has officially endorsed Kamala Harris, and you have got people loving her and people hating her for it. I am always surprised when massive celebrities jump into politics because it is such a divisive topic. Taylor Swift did the same thing back when it was Trump and Biden. She endorsed Biden, so it's not really a big surprise she's endorsing Kamala. But it gets a lot of news and it gets the world talking. She put out a big statement that basically says, go register to vote. I am endorsing Kamala, and that is my choice for president of the United States. But it really, the amount of people that you lose as fans or that you gain as fans, it's a tough topic to always talk about when it comes to politics. And I know she wants to use her platform for positive, and that's why she decides to talk about it. But there's a lot of people that she loses as fans when she jumps and chooses a side. So I'm always interested why people end up talking politics. I don't even like talking politics on our podcast because it is so a divisive topic.
Yeah. Well, Dax, I mean, it's political, but it's not. And I don't even know if this is for the podcast. I'll say, you know who I met this week? Who did I meet this week? Here's the thing. I met Trump I've met him a bunch of times, but about 2 years ago, I took a photo with him. And it was a great photo of me and him on a golf course. And I'm not a Trump guy. I don't care enough, to be honest with you. Politics to me, listen, my vote doesn't matter. You say every vote counts. My vote doesn't matter. I took a photo of him because it's part of history. I want to tell my family I met a president. regardless of what your thoughts are about him. But this past week, I met JD Vance, and I took a photo with him. And I'm like debating if I post a photo because I think it's kind of cool. I met a guy who's running
You
for
didn't
vice
post a
president.
photo with you and Trump.
I didn't post a photo with Trump because I was afraid that it would offend people or people would like backlash me. I'm like, guys, I just took a photo with him. Like, I'm not telling you who to vote for. It is what it is. But
have you taken a picture with Biden or Kamala?
I've taken a photo with Clinton. I've taken a photo with Jimmy Carter. I've taken a photo with George W.
And I know you would take a picture with Kamala if she was out there. So
100%, I would take a photo with Kamala. I would take a, but I met JD Vance this week, and I took a photo with him. I'll probably put on my social as a story, not as a thing. Because to me, again, it's part of history. I'm not supporting him. I smiled in the photo, but to be honest with you, Dax, this is what I was debating doing. When I said, "Hey, JD, can I take a selfie with you?" He was, "Yeah, sure." And he walked over to take a selfie with me, and very nice, very polite. But what I was gonna do, because I thought it would go viral, is when he came over to me to take the photo, I was gonna have it on video on my phone, and when we're both looking at my phone, I was gonna go. I thought that'd be funny if I just did that, and I thought it'd be so funny, be like, and I thought the video would go viral nuts. But then the other part of me, I chickened out last second because I was afraid that people would be like, "You made a fool out of him. Now people, that ruins his chance to become a president. Then you ruined America because now it's
you can't win with this. That's why I'm like, I just stay out of it. Like I don't enjoy talking politics with my friends anymore or family. It's like people get so pissed and like everyone has their beliefs. I'm like, just do you. I don't care. Like even when with Brittany Mahomes coming out this week or last week or whatever and endorsing Trump and then Taylor coming out endorsing Harris, like, do I think that's going to make it awkward for them? Maybe. But hopefully being adults, they can move past that and just be like, look, we like each other as friends. Like, that's what it is. It's that when Trump first ran like years ago against Hillary, I felt like it separated friendships. You couldn't be friends with someone if they didn't like your politics. And I'm like, when did that become a requirement that we have to be on the same page with politics to be friends? Like, can't we all just have different opinions and still be friends and move the hell along with life? And I feel like I lost lots of friends throughout time just because, they were pro this and I didn't like this or whatever. And it's just like, oh my God, who cares, people? We've got so much bigger problems right now than who I vote for or who you vote for. Come on.
Yeah, look, praise Dax, praise. All right, that is our Raw rundown. Thank you guys for watching. If you're watching on Red Coral Universe, thank you guys for watching on YouTube. Thank you for listening on any streaming or whatever platform you're listening to. Make sure you check out our private Facebook group called Off the Record. It's a fun community. Follow me at Adam Glyn. Follow Dax Holt at Dax Holt. We'll see you next time.
Bye. Guys, hope you liked that video. We got a lot more where that came from.
Hit that bell, like, subscribe, share with a friend. The best thing you do to support us is really doing that. And we really need the money because we need hair gel.